All right, we are back after a brief break, and we have located our next guest, Paige,
Hello.
the executive director of the San Diego Brewers Guild. Thank you so much for jumping on the live stream.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So talk to me about the scene in San Diego. Over 150 breweries in San Diego County now. It has gotten pretty crazy out there.
Yeah, it's fun.
I can imagine so.
Yeah.
So what are you tasked with doing every single day? You know, it seems like a bit of herding cats with 150 different companies.
Sometimes I say toddlers, but it's definitely has its good days, and I enjoy working with all of the different breweries and their tasting rooms. But we're definitely marketing oriented, so we focus on that. We just launched an app, so for San Diego breweries,
Okay.
Which has been pretty exciting. Called SD Beer, and you can just get on the App Store, and so we're really focusing on marketing this year.
Great. And you guys have SD Beer Week coming up.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. What's happening at San Diego Beer Week? I'm imagining a lot of different events around town, maybe a big festival. What's going down?
All of the above.
Okay.
November 2nd through the 11th. We're going to be hosting a official cheers on Friday night. So around 7:30, we're encouraging all of our breweries in San Diego to host events, and then we're going to do basically a social media blitz. So anywhere across the country or the globe that follows San Diego breweries will go online, and they get to see the official kickoff for Beer Week.
Awesome.
Which is new. We're really excited about that. And then the next big thing that we're doing is on November 3rd, we have Guild Fest, and we've invited all of the regional guilds from the state of California and 3 regional guilds from Mexico. So we're really trying to work on our relationship with that community and have them featured at the festival as well. And then throughout the 10 days of Beer Week, we're going to have events throughout the county at restaurants and the tasting rooms and at the breweries, and just a fun time.
Awesome. Now, obviously there's been a lot of transactions that have occurred in the San Diego area, Ballast Point, St. Archer. In terms of your guys' bylaws and who can be members, like, how do you guys approach that? Because I know that that's an issue around the country when these acquisitions happen. A lot of the executive directors at the various state guilds or local guilds, you know, have to have a conversation about, well, you know, what do we do with these memberships? So how do you guys approach it?
With our bylaws and with that topic and specifically, we align ourselves with the Brewers Association and the CCBA, so we want to have a consistent message. So as far as our membership guidelines, we have the same as those 2 organizations. And
Gotcha.
They're tough conversations to have, but we think it's important to protect the small brewer and market San Diego and the breweries that we have there.
Now, can they engage with you at all? Can they participate in any way? So like a Ballast Point, can they be associate members, or, you know, how do they still remain a part of the community even if they've, you know, their owners have elected to sell to a larger company?
As a brewery, they have relationships with, you know, the breweries that they had before their acquisition, but as an association, that's something at a board level that we're trying to figure out, because they're still very much present.
Yeah.
But until anything changes from the BA or from the CCBA, we kind of keep it.
Take your cues from the national
Yeah,
level.
we want to make sure that we have that consistent message regionally, statewide, and nationally.
So what were some of your biggest initiatives this year? How'd you guys perform on those? And, you know, maybe for next year, what are you guys looking at accomplishing?
This year, we really focused heavily on marketing. So again, we did that SD Beer app. We'd also did a complete rebuild of our website, sdbeer.com,
Cool.
which has been super exciting. And then another initiative that we did more internally for our breweries was we created a series called Tap Into Knowledge that kind of tapped into each of the different branches of the brewery. So a marketing session, or very technical topics, or front of the house or back of the house, cleaning techniques, draft technology, those types of things. And we had never really focused heavily on education for our brewery specifically outside of our meetings. And so it was really nice to be able to put together this educational series that was really well received, and we're looking forward to 2019.
Awesome. So more of the same next year is what we can expect.
Yeah.
Now you guys also have a Lyft partnership, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's something we've actually seen around the country as well. Lyft gets pretty heavily involved with the guilds at the state level and at the local level. What does it look like for the San Diego Brewers Guild?
It's a newer partnership, so it's still coming together. But specifically for Beer Week, we went to them, and we want to make sure that people can come to our events and support our members and support the businesses that they choose and still get home safely. Like, it's a huge priority for us. And so Lyft was a natural partner that I sought out in order to, make all of that happen and make sure San Diego is doing well.
And so people get discounted rides. So do they have to take it like from a brewery to another brewery, or how does it work?
So this year, something that I was able to negotiate was that it wasn't for first-time riders, because I said that's not really that helpful for us, because a lot of our, a lot of the fans that are going out to the breweries are already using rideshare programs, and so for Beer Week, they get two discounted rides up to 50% off, I believe is what, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But it's definitely for any user instead of just first time, and that was huge for us.
That's awesome. And so why do you think Lyft likes partnering with Brewers Guilds and the beer industry specifically?
Well, they have a heavy emphasis on a safe ride program, which I think is really awesome. So I think that's why they've been able to work with Brewers Guild, and they've tapped into that market, is because they do have a priority as a company in order to make sure that people are being safe and they have an option. So.
And it also seems a lot safer than maybe taking a bird scooter, which I love bird scooters, but after a few drinks, I don't know how safe that would be.
It's a little scary.
So no bird scooter partnerships in the works. Okay.
No. That's still drinking and riding.
So I don't want to put you on the spot, but you got a lot of different breweries to go to. But what's your go-to brewery in San Diego for anyone visiting? Do you have a couple favorites? I know you don't. Probably not supposed to play favorites with your members.
There's no such thing as favorites.
But is there one that you find yourself at more frequently than others? Is there a particular tap room that you like to visit?
Yeah, so I actually live in North County. I live in Vista, so I live outside of the city. I go to Booze Brothers a lot. I have a 2-year-old, so it's very family friendly, and just the aesthetics and the atmosphere is really nice. And the guys that own the place, it's family run. They went to high school near me, and so it's just kind of nice to support that, and it's close.
Great.
Yeah.
And the children in tap rooms issue is one that I've watched from afar. It's not something that we've really written about or covered, but we've seen plenty of ink spilled on it.
Yes.
Is that something, with so many different breweries in San Diego, I'd imagine that everybody has sort of different policies. How are your members approaching that? Are they pretty accepting of having children in the tap rooms? Do they not like it?
From what I've seen, yes. Fairly accepting of having them. I think that it's also a communication to the parents that this isn't a free-for-all, you still have to watch your kid type of thing.
Yeah.
So there's that education going on. But as far as the breweries, I think that for the millennials that are going out and enjoying the craft beer, they are now starting families, and so they want to be able to enjoy that experience with their family, and a lot of the breweries are able to provide that. So.
Awesome. All right, well, we have time for one final question. The top trend that maybe you're paying attention to locally in San Diego or California, what's something that you're watching really closely in terms of styles, just in general? What's something you're paying attention to?
I'm kind of keeping an eye on that Brut IPA trend.
Okay, we've heard a lot about that today.
Just seeing how it's going. Yesterday I was at Pangea, and I saw there was a hazy Brut IPA, which I thought was kind of interesting.
All right.
So I'd like to see where that goes.
A little hybrid style there.
Yeah.
I like that. Awesome. Paige, it's been great. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck on San Diego Beer Week and with the Lyft partnership and everything that you got going on. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks so much for having me.
Cheers. Have a
Take
good
care.
one.
Bye.